Hey folks, welcome to episode 29 of the Mile 20 podcast. I am Laura and I am here with my bestie Lorri.
Howdy.
And my daughter Madi.
Hello, hello.
Whoop, whoop.
We have Madi here with us today because we are talking about the New Orleans Marathon that we ran in February of 2020. And it was Madi's
First marathon.
She popped a cherry in New Orleans.
Oh, dear.
Yay.
I'm sure there's been lots of cherries popped in New Orleans.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're going to make me snort in this episode again, aren't you? That was so beautiful. I was listening back to the episode or two, and I was like, God, I did snort on the freaking, I swore I'd never do that. Yeah, so we mentioned last episode that we ended up getting in actually a couple of marathons before COVID hit, and New Orleans was one of them. It was our second of three before COVID hit, and yeah, there was a lot of debauchery in New Orleans. So
It was a recipe for success, really.
it was, right? Because you know why?
Yeah.
It makes a good podcast story.
It really does. Yes, it does.
So-
That was the goal all along.
Yeah, so we agreed that we would tell our tales of hurricanes, not like the weather that we talked about in Mobile,
No.
different kind of hurricane. And there was a little bit of kung fu fighting.
Yeah.
Na. And then, unfortunately, black eyes. Maybe just one black eye.
And somehow they're all related to the same thing.
Yeah. Yep. Yep, they are. Before we jump into the lovely beverages that Madi has made for us this evening, and guess what they're called?
Rock you like a hurricane.
Yes, hurricanes. We want to remind you to check us out on our socials. We are out on Mile 20 Podcast and on Instagram, and check us out. We appreciate everybody's feedback. We are growing in multiple countries now.
Yes,
And
it's
in
very exciting.
almost every one of the 50 states. So that's really, really cool for us as well. And hopefully you guys are enjoying our journeys. And maybe you're like, ooh, maybe I'm going to go and pick a marathon in Louisiana as a
Yeah.
result of going and doing this.
I thought it was super cool this week. Somebody commented on our Tunnel Light episode, and they were getting ready. They just listened to it, and they were getting ready to run it the next day. And I hope whoever that person was kicked ass and
That's
really
awesome.
enjoyed it and had a great experience. But yeah, it was really cool to see.
Hopefully it did not rain for them.
Hopefully they had beautiful weather.
That's all we could wish on
and
anyone is beautiful weather.
scenery. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, Madi, tell us about the drink that we are partaking in this evening, since you helped to be the bartender, the mixologist tonight.
So the drink we are drinking is the Hurricane. It is popularly served in New Orleans in a hurricane glass.
So, yeah.
Not always this size.
Not this size.
that we're holding
This
up
is
right
kind of
now,
like a
which is
dirty
about-
glass, but I got it from my basement.
I'm going to describe for those who are not joined in on YouTube. We're
It's
looking.
about half a foot wide vase with like a foot and a half of height.
Yeah, a foot and a half of
Roughly.
height. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the story behind Hurricanes is that at a bar called Pat O'Brien's, which is still open, and we were patrons of this fine establishment when we
Is that what
went.
you'd call us, patrons?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we were.
Maybe troublemakers. But so at Pat O'Brien's during World War II, apparently there was a surplus of rum, and they really wanted to, move the rum so that they could get rid of it, get whiskey in the door, that kind of stuff. So they started selling hurricane drinks in hurricane glasses to get rid of their rum. And that is how the Hurricane was born.
Yeah, lots of rum in there.
Lots of rum in there. This is 4 ounces in
Typically,
each glass.
if you're joining us on YouTube, typically they are a little redder, but we're assuming that that's because they put
Food coloring.
Yeah, food coloring in it, because usually they are
Red dye number 5.
Ours are kind of more like a burnt orange. And today I am commemorating our run because Rock and Roll had really cool merch, and I bought a really cool rock and roll mug that kind of has like fine pencil art of different things that are New Orleans themed.
I bought the same mug and I absolutely love that one.
I know, it's
Except
awesome.
I pulled mine out of the cupboard and it was dirty, so I couldn't put anything in.
That's fair. Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Cheers. So,
All right.
are you ready?
Yeah, they're drinking out of their straws.
Yes.
And Lori's balancing the act here because she's got the
garnish, the orange
All
garnish.
right, I'm gonna do mine here.
It's just lovely. I love it. You did such a great job, Maddie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh God.
I told you to stir it.
Yeah, it's too soon. Still too soon.
It's never too soon.
It's too soon.
Nah, it's perfect.
All right. So we did this race in February of 2020, so February 9th.
Yep.
And so, Maddie, this was your first marathon. So when we were talking about marathons, I mean, you've been exposed to Lori and I running marathons for forever. I mean, ever since you were little. What made you want to do this one at this point in time in your life?
I think it was a couple different things. One was the reason why I hadn't done one sooner was because of soccer. I played soccer through middle school, high school, college, and every time I revisited the idea of running a marathon, even in the off season, it was really negated. It was, you're going to lose your quick step for being a goalkeeper and things like that. So I just stayed away from it. And then, fast forward, I was living in New York City. I had just kind of gotten it under my belt. I got my sea legs under me living in New York City. And Mom told me what marathons were coming up that year. I said, I love the idea of going to New Orleans. Let's go.
I was like, what?
I know, it's awesome.
I was like, Laura, we got another marathoner.
So I chose the fun one. I don't know if Maggie's was fun, but
not like
in
it
Michigan.
was just a very
Just
different
different.
it was a very different experience for Maggie. But she was also under 21 at the time, so like she wouldn't have wanted to have done, I wouldn't have wanted her to have run New Orleans at that time because it wouldn't have been
the same.
It would not, no.
So it was kind of like the perfect storm. I also was looking for something where when you lose Mom, you okay with that sip?
Oh my God. It's still too soon.
When you lose your sport that you've been playing for like 15 years, you kind of need those fitness goals to keep you going sometimes, or at least I did. I found that I was not keeping my fitness up, so after a certain point, running a marathon and having that goal seemed like a really, really great idea.
Yeah.
So I did it.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And I
love that.
felt a little guilty that day because I felt like we kind of brought you down a little bit, just a little bit, you know, because I think
It's always good to be humbled.
you probably could have really kicked some ass, but you hung out there with us, which was great.
Well,
you know.
let's let the story unfurl itself, because there are quite the number of steps that leads to that comment.
That's very true. That's very true. So let's talk about really quickly the Rock and Roll New Orleans Marathon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like all the rock and rolls, like San Antonio,
There's a theme.
it does not exist anymore.
So you can't run this anymore.
No.
Sorry.
And I was doing some research, and New Orleans does not have a marathon in New Orleans. The main marathon, it looks like, for Louisiana, I mean, obviously there could be other smallers with ultras and things like that, but the main marathon is the Louisiana Marathon, and that is organized in Baton Rouge. Is where
And Baton
the
Rouge
setting
is
for
about
that.
an hour away from New Orleans.
Yeah, I've never been to Baton Rouge, so I don't know.
The only
if it would
reason
have
why
the
I
same
know that
appeal
is because
of
our
Mary
friend
Beth.
Mary Beth's daughter goes to LSU,
Yeah.
and she visits New Orleans. And when we were in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, she said that Mary Kate had about an hour drive from Baton Rouge. That's the only reason why I know that it's an hour away,
There you go.
or at least from LSU.
And the Louisiana Marathon has the full gamut, full, half, 10K, 5K, kids marathon, which is a 1 mile fun run.
Oh, nice.
So that has kind of taken the place of this, which I think is sad because New Orleans is such a great backdrop for a marathon.
It was
I mean, it was fantastic. It's
what I remember from it.
flattish.
It was very flat. I think that the only elevation that we really hit was maybe going over an overpass.
Yeah.
And it was towards the end. It was like maybe like
It was like right at mile 24, and I was cursing everything.
you really were. You were not happy.
My
Yeah, I
Strava
remember
says
that.
there was like 225 feet of elevation.
Yeah.
Which feels negligent, like over the course of 26
Negligible.
miles. Negligible. I'm really.
It could be negligent.
Lori, negligent is a legal
I
standard.
am on fire tonight, and I don't mean like a hot flash fire.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. So, but the very similar to other rock and roll marathons, the expo was fantastic.
Yeah,
We had a blast at the expo.
Expo is fantastic. It's always they were always very well organized and well run, but also true to a typical rock and roll. The first half was gorgeous, and the second half was actually probably better than some of the others we ran.
Yeah, because we ran by the lake.
Yeah, so at least there was a view, Lake Pontchartrain.
Pontchartrain,
And a
right?
tiny bit of a breeze.
Yes.
Yes, which definitely helped. I mean, because the weather was in the high 50s when we started and ended at about like low 70s. So we all ran in tank tops.
Yeah.
And
Well, we didn't start in tank tops.
No, we did not.
No.
What
Yeah.
did we start in? Do you remember?
I do.
It was a pink fuzzy pullover, like a quarter zip.
Yeah.
And I think we ditched them to like Dad, Dave, and Kaylee, maybe? I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
But yeah, we were in like these oversized.
Were they like the
pullovers.
teddy bear
Yeah.
pullovers?
Super soft.
They were.
Oh.
Yeah, they looked very fuzzy.
Why the hell did we bring those? Because that takes up a lot of suitcase space. Okay.
Probably because you wanted they were in your
Oh,
closet.
they could have
and threw
been. It could have
away.
been. Like
vacuum
vacuum
sealed.
sealed. I bet it was vacuum sealed.
Yeah, probably
Something like that.
off of Amazon.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, it was a little chilly, but we all ended up in our tank tops at the end. Now I am sporting one of the tank tops, and our tank top said "Not today, Satan."
Yes, Laura and Maddie wore green, and me and
Or
Tina
purple.
or purple.
And
oh
then
my
you guys-
god!
and then you-
me and Tina
Because
wore
I'm wearing
green.
purple right now, Lori, and this is the shirt I
Maybe
wore in the
should just-
marathon.
maybe I should just sit over here and look pretty for this episode, and not open my mouth.
It's all good. It's all yeah. So because the traditional colors of Mardi Gras
Yeah.
are gold and purple and green, because I had found these shirts and I just thought that would be kind of cool if two of us wore green and two of us wore purple.
You're
So-
always so good at our tank tops.
yeah, and
They're always
we rocked
spot
it, man. I
on.
loved those
Yes.
pictures,
And
and they were very appropriate for that day.
Laura also got us these headbands with sparkly jester hat on it, which Maddie can showcase for those joining us on YouTube. She created a shadow box after her marathon.
It was the first one. You got to do it. The headband is almost like a cross between a jester's hat and a crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't. I mean, they weren't bothersome when we were running with those.
No,
so.
I think we ran with them up until like deep into the last half because I saw like pictures near Pontchartrain where we were holding them.
Oh, it's probably because of the wind and stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause
probably.
It got really windy
did.
towards the end of the race. Yeah, I mean we've done headbands twice now, right? Because we did the unicorn headbands in New York City and then these. So I for our marathon that's coming up for Madoc.
Yeah.
So Maggie and I are going to be Shmi and Captain Hook. And I'm going to be Captain Hook. And I found a Captain Hook, like a pirate hat, but it's got a headband like that.
Nice.
So, yeah, we were going back and forth. And I wanted to be Smee and she wanted to be Smee because it requires to wear less clothing. So somehow I ended up going and getting the pirate costume. So, because I'm the mom and I take one for the team.
Oh,
so.
thank you so much.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
I know I'm feeling pressure now to dress up as we're digressing.
Yeah,
but I
it's okay.
now feel kind of pressured to dress up as Nami a little bit to support you since they're being Hook and Smee.
For context, I have entered more of a dweeb era for myself, and I've been watching the anime show One Piece. I've gotten so into it that my dog's name is Chopper, and he's
'Cause that's one of the characters
on the show. So for this marathon, the theme is the sea, and most people in the race dress up. So I thought of the first pirate I could think of, and that's the the kid that's going to become king of the pirates, Luffy.
Hell yeah. And so to support her, because my son is a huge fan of One Piece, so same with Ella. And I was like, I think, I'm sorry, if we're giggling on this side, it's because of Laura drinking her hurricane in very reluctant fashion. Anyway,
nope, it's too bad.
I was thinking of supporting Luffy by being Nami, and I have a costume coming in. It hasn't come in yet, and I did actually find orange hair makeup. It's called One Night Only, and it's supposed to be good to put into my hair, and it washes out.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
I'm gonna be. I might look a little bit like our president.
I'll get you tangerines.
Yeah. So this is going to be fun. This is a marathon that we have coming up in just a couple weeks, September 6th, and we are running the Marathon du Médoc in Bordeaux, France. It actually starts in Pouillac. And we are very, very excited about that. So Lorri, myself, Maggie, and Madi, the 4 girls are all running that.
We're all running, and then we have quite a few spectators joining us.
We do.
Including but not limited to most spouses. Connor, and then my childhood friend Kelsey is going to join as well, all the way from Portland, Oregon. I am so excited.
Yeah, that was a good surprise. So I'm very, very happy about that. So going back to the race, it was a pretty race, the first part of it. Yeah. We ran through part of the Garden District and downtown.
Past Jackson Square.
Yeah.
And the French Quarter.
It was just so nice.
Yeah.
Now, last episode we talked about that we didn't like doing 2 loopers. I probably could have done 2 loops through the neighborhoods.
I would concur with that. I think I could do 2 loops through downtown New Orleans as well.
Just do the same loop twice. I don't know.
I also agree.
Just because it's people watching.
I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but I agree with that.
Yeah,
it's the energy of New Orleans. It does that. It's catchy. It's invigorating, and it's totally worth seeing it twice rather than running away from all the crowds.
Right, all the way out to Pontchartrain. Yeah.
Yeah. Once we hit the place where you get the beignets, the famous place for the beignets, because I think that was around the 13-mile mark.
It's that Cafe Beignet.
Yes, and then there was nobody.
Cafe Dumont.
Cafe Dumont is the famous one. Cafe Beignet has, I think, been on the rise in the last couple of years.
So it's probably Cafe Dumont. It's the one that's right there that's near the market.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's right at the end of the market.
Yeah. So I remember as soon as we passed by that, then we kind of went into no man's land and there weren't as many runners. Now, how many runners did they have finish in 2020? Again, this was in February of 2020, a couple weeks before Mardi Gras.
Oh, my brain. Was it about 1,400?
1,400?
1,400.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 0 in 2025.
Yeah. And And
I have to say, when I was looking at the amount of finishers, there were probably 2,100 people listed.
Oh,
and
wow.
I had to keep scrolling back in the results, and the number of DNFs was incredible. And I'm not sure if they truly DNF'd or just never showed.
Wow. I wonder
it was bizarre
if they just decided
to
go and finish doing the half and they just they like, screw this crap. I'm not going to go do that.
Or because this was later in February.
Beginning of February.
February 9th.
February 9th, yeah.
COVID hit beginning of March. There were already rumors that it might be starting to reach Seattle and stuff like that. Maybe people who, they either have an immunodeficiency disorder or something along those lines. They can get sick easier.
Maybe they were a little cautious and decided not to show up.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's
Considering
remarkable.
New Orleans is very much a lot of peopling.
Lots of
peopling.
Very peoply.
Very peoply.
Yes. And the really nice thing about that course, when we ran it was a 7-hour limit. So we kind of needed that.
Every bit of it. Yes.
All right. So we had quite a crew with us in New Orleans. So who all came down with us?
Well, we had the spouses. Mm-hmm. So we had Dave, Jim. We had...
Maddie wasn't married at the time.
Maddie was not.
Correct. But I had one of my childhood wives, Kaylee, come.
Yes.
And when I say that, I mean she's one of my best friends from childhood. We played soccer together for a little while. And she loves to travel, so she came down and supported me and my mom and Lorri and Tina by going to the casino during the marathon.
Yeah, I think
the
that
boys.
she had
She was
such
very
a good
supportive.
time with the boys. Yeah.
She was very supportive.
She was like their little mascot of the weekend, I feel like.
Well, it
And
was
fit
the
right in.
first time she had gambled that weekend. They took her into the casino like the day before the marathon because we were.
Is that like the Hard Rock Casino?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But we were doing our packet pickup, which for someone that's not running the marathon is like watching paint dry.
It's hell.
Oh, it's boring.
Yeah, don't drag your family to those.
No.
Do it. However, if you're Kaylee and you've never gambled before, going to the casino is really, really fun. And she had so much fun that when they had downtime while waiting for us at a certain mile marker, they ducked into the casino.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous.
Because you were running. We also had with us our friend that we ran the Inca Trail with.
In Boston and
Boston, yeah, Matt and Tina. I would have loved to have had Tina on today, but with the absence of Maggie, I was completely horrified as to how to work two different microphone
to do this and then do a video.
and then do a Zoom call.
Yes.
I was just at a complete
Yes.
loss as to how to make that work. So, Tina, if you happen to be listening, we miss you dearly, and we would have loved to have had your input on this.
If anything, you can add like a lot of comments and tell us when we're lying about things or when we didn't provide enough detail on things as well. So,
Yes, for sure.
Now, Jim and I got in earlier than you and Dave because we hung out for a while with Matt and Tina.
Yeah.
And Maddie, I can't remember if you came down with us.
I think I was around the middle of the pack. I
Yeah.
don't remember if I flew down with Kaylee or not. I
Yeah.
might have, but I was flying from New York at the time.
Yeah, I just remember that we all met up for dinner.
Yes.
And you actually were one of the last ones to come in for dinner.
Kaylee came in before me.
Yes.
Want to know why I remember that?
I think
'Cause
we were
she
the
had
last.
already flirted with a bartender by the time.
Oh, yes, she did. That's right. I do remember that. Oh, no, because all right, so Kaylee got in early and she hung out with Matt and Tina.
Yes.
Because that's when she met the bartender. So when Daddy and I got there, then we heard this whole thing from Matt going, oh my God, she's like, she's talking to boys already, and da 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 da. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, we went to a really, really nice restaurant that night.
Yeah, Muriel's
Yeah.
on Jackson Square.
Yeah.
Oh, that
But
place
we
was
were,
so good.
Dave and I were like inches from missing dinner with you guys because we got in late for some reason.
You were
And
driving from somewhere.
we could not find a taxi or an Uber. Like we had the hardest time trying to get, like, I think the whole airport was a shit show. There were a shit ton of people at the airport and it was very long lines. And somehow I remember us walking like through parking decks and across off of property, and we end up at an IHOP, and we finally get an Uber to come pick us up at
that
the IHOP
sucks.
that was near. Yeah, it sucked, and so we were like hot to trot to get to you.
Yeah,
guys.
because you guys walked into the restaurant.
Yes.
Well, everybody walked into the restaurant, but we were
I think
already
you had dropped your
seated.
bags, but we were seated.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were seated when you guys walked in.
Yes.
Did the call ahead of time, like, do you guys want drinks?
Yes.
Here's the menu picture.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. We did do that,
Yes.
didn't we?
We kept taking selfies of like Dave and I in front of the IHOP. We're like, we're trying to get there. We really are. We're here. Yeah, it was very stressful.
Now, the place that we stayed at, you actually scored that Airbnb.
Yeah, it was an Airbnb in the warehouse district. And we can have Maggie upload the link if anybody's, to our social media. But I felt like it was a really great. It was a little far from the French Quarter, but walkable.
It's totally walkable.
Yeah, I think if you're really particular about how far you walk, you might think it was far. But for us, it was very walkable and easy.
And
it
we
was
could
really
walk to the start line, too.
Yeah, it was very close to the start line. It was really close to Lafayette Square.
Yes.
So it was a pretty area. It was a little quieter, which I appreciated at night, being a little bit off the beaten path. But I remember the decor and everything inside was really nice. I enjoyed the Airbnb.
Yeah, and they had kitchenette kitchenette as well. And we actually had 2 like adjoining apartments.
Yeah.
And so you and Dave were with Matt and Tina, and then Jim and I were with Madi and Kaylee.
Yeah.
So which was very, very convenient. We actually, Jim and I looked up that place to stay at when we went down there for the Super Bowl, and it was already booked up. So we tried.
Yeah.
Because I liked it enough to go back and stay there again.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. All right. So
that's big praise from Laura.
it is. It is. And I mean, again, it was just the convenience of the space, and it was clean, and it was really, really nicely decorated. So I really, really enjoyed it. So we ate at Muriel's, and then that night, like, it wasn't a crazy night. We had a couple of beverages and really, really nice meal. But do you remember Tina doing the baby pose in your room?
Yes.
That was really funny. Child pose and baby pose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think there were some pictures.
There were.
I
don't think we can post those.
No, we can't post them, but I think within our own internal stuff, like with Matt and Tina, I think we need to go and find that picture and create a sticker.
Just resurface
Oh,
them.
God,
It needs to be a sticker.
It does need to be a sticker.
Right? So when we respond to things, we have Tina and baby pose.
I think that night was the only night that Too Soon Tina struck.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that.
So actually, I think you guys are more up on the lore of Too Soon Tina, but I can tell you by interpretation of it. Basically, that Tina is super fun and goes all out, and she like kind of rushes the start line, and then she pitters off.
She does an Irish goodbye.
To the finish and does an Irish goodbye.
Yes.
That's usually like the first night that you see Tina.
Yes.
Too soon Tina
strikes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every other night she's like perfect pacing and like totally like great fun life of the party, but the first night is frequently Too Soon Tina.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact,
But I love Too Soon Tina.
I love Too Soon Tina too, man.
Too Soon Tina.
Especially when you're not being Too Soon Laura or Too Soon Lori, and you get to watch
Enjoy
Too
Too
Soon
Soon
Tina,
Tina.
and it's just like, oh, that's so awesome. In fact, when they came out to visit last year, she wrote on my chalkboard "Too Soon Tina" on the chalkboard, and I was like, "Oh, that's so awesome."
That is awesome.
Now, the following morning, there were some folks that went and grabbed some beignets.
Yes.
So
That
this
was not me.
The morning, the day before the marathon.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that Saturday.
Yeah, because the marathon was on Sunday.
I think we did Cafe beignets for that one, not Cafe du Monde beignets.
Yes, when I could still eat eggs and everything was glorious.
Yeah, yeah. I had coffee.
Yes, you did. Well, there was a bit of a little snafu with your coffee, though. I do believe.
Yeah,
with
there
Jim.
was. Yeah, there was a little bit of it. Yeah, there was. Yeah,
Just
he
a little.
He didn't grab me one.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. So then we went to packet pickup, and then we met everyone at Oceana Grill.
Yes, and I, for the life of me, cannot figure out which drink we had that bubbled.
Oh, I got it. It's called the Voodoo Love Potion. I wrote live on here.
Where
but
did you find that?
When I saw you wrote some kind of yum bubbly drink.
I was on their Instagram looking for the name of it, and they had it on there, but no name for it on
I
there.
used AI.
Oh, son of a
To
bitch.
ChatGPT.
Watch, it's not the actual name.
It's called Voodoo.
It is. It
It's
sounds
called
right.
Voodoo
AI
Love.
hallucinates
Oh,
sometimes.
Voodoo Love Potion, and I actually.
It was not on their menu because I looked at their current menu and it wasn't on there.
It's a special drink, and wrong picture. In the Voodoo Love Potion, it is vodka, peach schnapps, cranberry juice, pineapple juice, lemon or lime juice, a splash of grenadine, sparkling wine or club soda, ice cubes, and then for the bubbling effect, small chunks of dry ice.
Yes, it was delicious.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
I did not have one.
No, I think me and Tina had
Yeah,
them.
you guys had them, and then we had the crawfish.
Yeah,
And
you got to have the crawfish when you go
No.
to New Orleans.
I just want to point out that when we were at the Oceana Grill, I was drinking water.
Oh, yeah, I know you were.
All right.
Yes, you waited.
We're just gonna this is where this starts. Okay. I was drinking water at
She
the time.
was.
I was hydrating for the race the next
Just
day.
to foreshadow, Too Soon Laura May came out.
No, because too soon, Laura. If that applied, I would have been like,
You would have been asleep.
I would have been heavy, hot and
Yeah.
heavy like earlier in the day.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you weren't. So too soon, Laura came out from the moment you started to the moment you finished. It was too soon, Laura.
Yeah. I got a whole bunch of other names for that.
Anyway, we're jumping ahead here. We're
Yeah.
jumping ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. So we
Yeah.
had some drinks and we had some crawfish.
And we pinched the tail and sucked the heads.
Hell yeah, you do.
Yes.
You gotta pinch the tail and suck the heads.
Right?
Yes.
That's
It
what
was-
she said.
I think it was the first time for most of us trying crawfish.
Not me.
Not you.
I
But
had it
No, I had
before.
had crawfish before too.
oh, never mind. But we got like a whole bucket of them, and I remember Kaylee and I were both like very curious about the process, and then we did it, and it was like, okay, let's try that again.
Didn't somebody ask one of the wait staff to go and help
the
demonstrate?
waitstaff I think it was Kaylee. The wait staff saw her kind of like struggling along, and we were all like kind of looking at it, and they gave us actual instructions for how to do it. Like you twist off the head, and then you pinch and suck.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that.
I do too.
That's so much
Only in
fun.
New Orleans. Come on.
So when we left Oceana Grill, everybody's feeling like full tummies. It's like, okay, where are we headed next? And the place that we ended up landing is called Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop Bar. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And this place, it's very old, and it is supposed to be one of the most haunted bars in New Orleans.
It's one of the oldest bars
Yes.
in New Orleans.
Yes.
So Kaylee and I have always been fans of like ghosty things.
Oh, you totally are.
So this was completely on Kaylee's list of things that she absolutely had to do
Oh,
or
yay.
go to in New Orleans. So she makes a beeline. Like I think she was our navigator for that bar. She
Probably.
just made an absolute beeline to it. And then as soon as she gets in there, she's grinning like ear to ear. And she's like, I'm in a haunted bar. This is so great. And it was dark in there. It felt spooky.
It did feel spooky.
They have
Old.
candles.
Really
They
low
got candles everywhere.
ceilings.
Yeah.
It was a really cool vibe.
And
then-
wait, I was drinking water there too.
Yes, you were.
Oh, Laura was drinking water still. I think I started with water and then I caved and got one drink.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm just gonna have one drink,
Just one.
just one.
I definitely had a drink. But at the time, like we were sitting around and we're chit-chatting and I could see Jim out of the corner of my eye whisper something to you. He's like, I have an idea. And then you two kind of, weren't you part of it?
Yeah,
like
I was part of it.
conspiring? You were
I was part of it
conspiring,
because we had thought about two places to go to, and we had been to a Pat O'Brien's before, and they're a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
we're like, yeah, let's do Pat O'Brien's.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, we can get a hurricane.
Yeah, but it was, I'm assuming it was Jim. So Laura's husband, he's wonderful. We've talked about how he wanders. He's a pot stirrer. He likes to light the
Ignite.
candle and
Ignites.
just watch it burn. He just likes to sit back and watch it burn.
Stokes the fire, sit back, watch it burn.
Yeah.
And burn.
And burn.
And burn.
Yeah. so like I know whatever Jim's got cooking in his brain, it's going to be a lot of fun, but somebody's going to pay the price.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun. We're going to have fun for a long time.
Maybe many somebodies will pay the price.
But there's somebody's going to pay the price.
Yeah. So part of the shtick of Pat O'Brien's, and this Pat O'Brien's, we sat
Well, it's
outside.
the original too.
Yeah, we sat outside on their patio, which is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, they have a great courtyard.
It has that New Orleans feel. I don't know. It had
Fountain in the middle.
fountain in the middle, right? And like greenery in the space. Just the balconies, around the top, and yeah, it was just absolutely wonderful. So we all somehow came to a consensus that we were going to order one of these.
I don't know about all.
Well,
No, I don't think that there was any consensus
There
about
was
ordering
no-
it. I
It
think
just
it
came.
showed.
It just
showed
came.
up.
Yes.
This is Jim Lee or you. I don't know if it was you and Jim Lee were like, whoa, haha, and
it's
whispering.
because we saw another table drinking it, and we were like, oh, but we could totally do that, because there were like
There were eight of us.
eight of
There
us,
was eight of
and
us.
everybody was legal, and
Yeah.
So this big hurricane drink comes out with 8 straws, and
Is that 5 gallons?
it was 5 gallons of hurricane. It was 5-gallon.
Is that how much
container.
it is?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Now, is it 5 gallons of hurricane with the ice? Like, so it's like
It's a 5-gallon glass.
Right. Okay.
So with the ice.
And it is filled with ice. So it's less than 5 gallons of hurricane.
And the glass is frosted. So I can't even
Oh, yeah, it
imagine the size of the freezer that holds these glasses.
Right.
I mean, that's the engineer in me. Like, wow, that's
Yeah.
got to be like a lot of space.
We know it came out frosted because we were writing obscene things in the frost on the outside of the
There was
the glass.
There was a lot of obscene things, and
there was some phallic symbols being drawn.
I think I drew a penis on there. I did.
Yeah, and I remember the penis
classy that way.
because it was like kind of
You do it on the school bus, you know. Like
I think I feel like the penis was like 75% of the way down, and I can remember watching the hurricane as we were drinking it drop, and I'm like, oh, we're at the tip of the penis.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden we were like way below the penis, and I'm like, when the fuck did that happen?
that would be me. Yeah. So we got a lot of great pictures when the glass came out
In the daylight.
in the daylight.
Yeah, it's
And,
daylight.
You know,
Full glass.
Maddie, you and Kaylee got some great pictures. I have an iconic picture, Lori, of you and I. I think I have it on my table out in the front foyer.
Yeah, Laura looks like a little devilish grin on her face as she's sipping on it.
Yeah, and then you got your hands raised up in the air,
I
like
look
just
like
an
the
elation.
Eagles. The Eagles just won the Super Bowl pose.
Yes. I think it was a little foreshadowing for the rest of the evening. And, you know, they had some great music playing. We were interacting with other people that were around us.
I wish I remembered our waitress's name because she was the bomb.
Yeah, she totally was the bomb. And she wore white pants and a green blazer.
Yes.
I don't know why I remember that, but that's what I remember.
She was really pretty. We
Yeah.
have a picture with her somewhere.
Yeah.
I do believe.
Yeah. And then
True story.
and I didn't feel I drank a lot of that hurricane. I really did. Cause like I at that point in time I was like, oh, I've been drinking water all day and I'll just have a couple of sips. And man, I got sucked in hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because again, like we were all sipping and chatting and sipping and chatting and sipping and chatting and having a great time. And like it was at a level and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, it dropped. And I'm like, where did it go? I felt like it went somewhere very fast.
A few of us helped Mom with that level.
Yes.
That's true.
And
But we also, I think we're getting to a point where we're like, okay, we needed to just stop. So we need to get to the bottom.
instead of just leaving it, we were like, let's just finish it. Because we have a marathon tomorrow.
we have a marathon
We have Maddie's
tomorrow.
first marathon tomorrow. So
let's finish this 5-gallon hurricane.
So
that's a great idea.
yeah, so the hurricane was finished. I remember walking out of the bar because I remember Matt and Tina buying one of they I don't know if they bought the actual glass we drank out of or they
No.
just bought a clean one.
They bought a clean one that they had boxed.
And Matthew is walking around with this huge box
Down
through
Bourbon
Bourbon
Street.
Street, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, that's commitment. In fact, Tina said she still has has the glass.
Yeah, I think it's up in her kitchen. She's got some decorative stuff in
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
So now Matt's walking around with this glass, and you know, I felt buzzed when I left. But you know, like, folks, when you're at a bar and you feel okay, and you know, and it's because you've been sitting there. Now, I hadn't been drinking any water since I had gotten to Pat O'Brien's, and we were drinking the Hurricane. But you know, it had ice in it, right? Well, I got up and it must have gotten like everything moving in the body and the brain and so forth. And between leaving the bar and maybe like 2 blocks down, it was like blotto. It was like well, maybe it wasn't even 2 blocks down.
You were outside of Pat O'Brien's. You were literally outside. The music was from.
It was not from Pat
It was-
O'Brien's.
it was-
No,
I
we
feel
walked down. No, we walked down the street.
There's
We
a
walked.
bar that's maybe
Yes.
like a block and a half
Yeah.
off of.
We walked.
We
Pat
walked.
O'Brien's
We
then.
did.
Okay, well, I don't
We
remember
did.
the walking
Yeah.
part. I felt
Yeah.
like it was right outside
No,
of
it
Pat
was definitely
O'Brien's.
not because we were walking and then I heard the music when we were walking. So a lot of the bars on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, because the weather is so wonderful, they have open storefronts or open bar fronts. So, the windows are completely open.
Yeah, they're pumping all
they're
sorts
pumping
of sounds
music
out,
and so forth. And so all sorts of sounds. And out of this one particular bar, they were playing the song "Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting." Na, 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 na. So
Fists were fast as
yes, fast as lightning. And so I heard the music and I got inspired, and I decided to do some of my kung fu fighting moves on Bourbon Street.
So unbeknownst to me, my mom is in the middle of kicking to kung fu fighting in the middle of Bourbon Street, and
It was a high kick too. I was pretty impressed with myself.
It was alcohol-induced kick.
I go down on Bourbon Street, and so does my mom. And I was
And when we say we went down, she means we
fell on the ground.
We fell on the
Very
ground, like my face planted on the ground.
So the
Going
two of
down
us
on
are
Bourbon
the
Street
ground,
has a
and
couple different meanings.
That's so true.
Sorry, not sorry. That's why I had to like.
Oh dear.
Okay, sorry.
We
My hands are
fell
sweating
on
now.
Bourbon Street, like right near a curb, and I thought that I had taken my mother out the night before we ran our first marathon together, and I was freaking out. And Lorri picked me up off the ground. She goes, "Go." And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Go with your father.
I'm in trouble, and I got Lorri mad. And,
I wasn't mad. I was just trying to take care of
Well,
shit.
Lorri
I was
was
just taking care of things.
Lorri was a little further ahead than us walking, and then you guys heard, "Oh wow, commotion!
Yes.
Oh, somebody fell!" And you're like, "Oh, who fell?" And you're like, "Oh shit, it's Laura and Madi."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
So we get up off of the ground. Lorri tells me to go with my dad. So my dad and I peel off from the group, and we're making a beeline to the Airbnb apartment. And then I think Matt and Tina ended up in a different group, or they ended up with you guys for a little while.
I don't
and then they split off.
I remember, and I don't remember when this was, but for some reason we end up. I think Kaylee was with us.
Kaylee took you back to the bar.
Kaylee went to the bar with the boy.
With the
She went to the
bartender.
boy.
There was
Yeah.
another bartender boy. I don't think it was the same bar. Was
It was the same guy.
It was the same guy.
He just worked
She had
at a
his
different
number.
place.
She knew that he was working.
He worked at a different place. So we go follow Kaylee, which we had no business doing, into this bar because she wanted to stop and see him.
And then I knew I needed to leave.
Yes.
And so Lorri, being the best friend that she is,
Yes. Escorted you back.
and it was an entertaining trip back to the Airbnb. That's all I will say about that.
Indeed.
And I'm not commenting any further.
That's it. That's all we're going to say about that.
In the meantime, as my dad and I are making a beeline back to the apartment, we get to the apartment and we're like, all right, we're both hungry. Because, I mean, the first dinner that we had was at Oceana. That was probably
that was
at like
lunch.
3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I thought that was more like
It was
lunch.
lunch. It was early lunch.
I had been treating it as dinner because I thought I was going to go to bed early. It was not dinner. So
Silly rabbit.
My dad and I go into a grocery store, and I don't think that my dad had experienced me drunk and looking for drunk food yet, like ever in his life, because I was probably like at 21 at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe. So we're in the food store, and I'm like, we have to get Kraft mac and cheese. It is a must. And then not Kraft, sorry. Annie's white cheddar shells, because then I dip Tostitos in it. I'm like, that is absolutely what we have to get. So my dad's meandering through the store, and meanwhile, we hadn't picked up any food for pre-marathon food.
No.
So we're
It
shopping
was,
for that too, and I'm having
yeah,
to
like
send
so
him
for the
back
morning.
down
Yeah, the
aisles.
morning we didn't have any food for the morning. So you guys picked up some stuff.
Yeah, we picked up some
Yeah.
stuff, but
was so bad.
my dad was so drunk that he was coming to me and being like, "What do we need now?" So I'm sending him down aisles, and we're doing all this stuff, whatever. So we get back to the apartment again, and I make the mac and cheese, feed both of us the box, and then everyone else comes back, and Lorri, you and Dave are saying, "Hey, we're gonna go for pizza."
I don't think I was with I don't remember being with Dave.
You very explicitly told me that I was going to get pizza.
I was with you at the grocery store, believe it or not.
I don't believe that.
I do. I remember us walking around the grocery store. I think I put your mom back. She went back to the Airbnb.
I went back to the Airbnb.
And then I went to the grocery store with you. And I don't remember. I know I ate Blaze Pizza because I saw the charge on the card.
Maybe I fed you some of the mac and cheese.
I remember eating some of the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I do not remember eating pizza, but I must have.
You ate almost an entire pizza.
Yeah, I must have.
But you know what's really impressive?
My recollection's not there.
When I went to bed, I set my alarm for the race the next morning.
Yeah, you're a crazy woman.
I remembered to do that. I was pretty impressed with myself. Because I was like, when the alarm went off, I was like, oh, shit. So
At what point did you realize you had a black eye?
yeah. So I woke up in the morning and my alarm went off and I was like, oh, mother of mercy. Like things were still not right with my brain and my body. And I walked into the bathroom and I used the facilities and I went to go wash my hands and I hadn't washed my makeup off, from the night before. And so I looked in the mirror just really quick and I thought, oh man, my mascara like massively ran. Like I must have slept on that side of my face the whole night. And then after I finished washing and drying off my hands, I looked up again. I was like, oh shit, I have a black eye. So yeah, and I think I took a picture of it and then I texted it to you guys. I was like, look what I got this morning.
Yeah.
That was from falling on the street. Because like I said earlier, I did a complete face plant on the street.
Which again, at the time that my mom discovered the black eye, I still thought that I was the one that caused the fall.
Yeah. Well, we know now that that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dave ended up correcting us on our way to the start line for the marathon.
Yeah.
He was like, oh no. It was your mom was doing kung fu fighting on the street. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, she was kicking her leg up in the air. Like, it was complete news to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So needless to say,
Some of us just have those nights.
It
was one of those nights.
And that was a rare bird for me.
Yes, it is.
It
is.
But in order to commemorate this particular moment in my life, forever and ever and ever, on our running playlist, we play Kung Fu Fighting on our playlist, followed by Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Of course.
Every single race from that point forward.
Yes.
So,
Yes, we did.
Yep. And Molly will never forget that moment. So, and then we ran the race.
Yes. And then we ran the race. We were on time for our start.
We were, and I felt very guilty. And I think at some point in time I was crying because I felt like a horrible mother that I had subjected my poor daughter to this debauchery the night before. And this was her first race. And I was a terrible person. And like, it was just like the whole mom guilt thing. Yeah.
Well, I can't begin to understand what mom guilt feels like.
Yeah.
But at the same
bad.
time,
It's bad.
Like, I make my own decisions.
I know.
I was of age to drink, and
Yeah.
I had trained for the marathon and all these other things.
And you finished it, damn it.
Hell yeah, you did.
You finished it, and that's the most important thing. And so
No, what's really kind of unbelievable about this too is that we planted a mile 20 beverage. We
did.
actually planted a mile 20 beverage.
I don't think I drank that one.
You did not. I think it was me and Tina.
I did not.
I think it was just me
Maddie
and
and
Tina.
I did not drink that.
No.
No, that was way too soon.
Yeah.
That was way too soon.
Yeah.
But afterward, we went and ate at Mr. B's Bistro, and that was some really, really good food, man.
Oh my God. I can remember I got the bistro burger and I upgraded to the truffle fries.
Oh, I remember
And
you eating the truffle fries.
I wanted to die in the truffle
Yeah.
fries.
I thought you were going to roll in them.
Yes, I wanted to. They were that good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I believe I got shrimp and grits.
Yes. And that looked fantastic.
And it had like a barbecue flavor.
I might have also gotten that.
Yeah, there were a couple of us that got like the same thing.
Yeah.
But that was a really, really good post meal. I was really hungry too because I hadn't eaten dinner the night before. No. I didn't have much in my stomach by the time we were running and so forth. So
No, you were such a trooper that day.
yeah, I might have woken up and was putting my bib on my shirt and was a little woozy in the process as well. So
I think I helped you with that.
yeah, and I think you were like, "Mom, oh my God," and I was like, "It'll be fine." I was like, "I've never had a do not finish. I'm not coming back to New Orleans to run.
Not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan." But I tell you what, I have been now to New Orleans a couple of times since then, and I've never experienced debauchery second go around at all. Even when we went to the Super Bowl, like my
night,
shit was tight. Like I had a good time, but I'm like, Bourbon Street chewed me up and spit me out once in my life, and it was one time too many, and that was it. So, folks, look, if you've never been to New Orleans, it's very, very easy to go and get kind of caught up, as Madi said, in the energy and the merriment of the city. Just be careful. Just be careful. And in fact, I think our friend Julie had experienced that as well at Pat O'Brien's with hurricanes.
Yeah, just
saying.
Drink responsibly.
Or drink water in between. So yeah. So that was a one and done, but a hard lesson to learn. But I have established that I can go and run drunk. So who knew?
Well, I thought we had already established that in some of our marathons, Laura Lee.
Who knew? All right, so ladies, you were wearing different shirts from the race.
I'm wearing, I think, a
Your
shirt
boobs
that
look
was
big in that shirt too, babe. Wow, you look good.
Thanks, Mom.
I made those.
Thanks, Mom.
This just gets better and better. Keep going.
I'm not drinking either. That's what's
I
really
know you're
scary.
not.
I've had 2 sips of that.
My shirt is, I think, one that was purchased.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's got all of the names of the people that signed up for the marathon on the back of it. This was specifically the marathon shirt that could be purchased, or one of them.
Yeah.
There were plenty of options. I think I also had gotten a jacket and then one other T-shirt on top of the race T-shirt.
Yeah.
So I got a couple things. It was my first marathon. I really wanted to buy into the energy and stuff like that.
And you didn't know whether or not you were going to run another one either, and the back, you don't need to turn around, but the back, all the names are in like a fleur-de-lis shape as well.
Yeah, they're in a fleur-de-lis shape.
Yeah.
And then I just want to touch on something because I don't know if you guys have yet in any of your other episodes. They have a rule. Mom and Lorri have a rule that you are not allowed to wear race gear before you actually finish the race. Otherwise, I don't know if it's a superstitious thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
very much so.
So I wanted to try on one of the jackets, and I had specifically turned to my mom to be like, am I allowed to put this on before I run the race? And she's like, you can do it to try it on, but don't wear it.
Yep.
And that was the rule. So, Lorri, what shirt are you wearing?
I am wearing the actual race shirt that was given to us. So it was like a navy blue and actually quite comfortable, very soft, very breathable. I don't wear T-shirts because if it's T-shirt weather, I'm wearing a tank. But I like it. It's got, the church from Jackson Square on it, in New Orleans. And,
Yeah, it's a very iconic church in New Orleans.
I mean, it's a nice shirt.
Yeah. I know I have both of those shirts, and I don't know where either of them are.
I love the one that
know.
Maddie's wearing because I also bought that shirt and I actually just wore it a few days ago.
Yeah.
But I really like those really soft. They're like a tech, but like soft cotton tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to play volleyball in both of these.
Yeah.
So they're light enough.
Yeah, and then the metal was really cool because the lanyard, instead of it being a traditional ribbon, it was beads. So
Yes.
For those of you who have never been to New Orleans, I mean, they throw beads everywhere. They will give you beads, or you can buy your own beads.
Most people
without
think that
showing
you
your
have to
boobies,
earn
but
them.
people think you have to earn them. But you can actually buy them. But it's on the lanyard on the metal,
instead of a ribbon.
and then the church that is on Lori's shirt is also on the metal, and it's got little sparklies too.
It does. It feels a little Disney,
little Disney-ish, right?
Little Cinderella's castle feel to it.
a
little bit.
little glittery, and I think the thing I liked about the course too is that they had some of the parade floats from Mardi Gras along the route, and they had some people who were, had like, big feathers
and
and dancing and in costumes and
there's a
stuff.
bagpiper.
So yeah. So Madi, with this being your first marathon, I mean, obviously, like we talked about, this probably wasn't the most optimal way to go and set you up for success on the day of the race. But what were your impressions, after, like during the race as well as afterward?
Like as a first time runner.
Yeah, as a first time runner.
Marathon runner.
Yeah.
Can I go all the way back to training?
Yeah.
Go wherever you want,
Okay.
girl.
So I was living in New York at the time. I think I was in White Plains by the time that I decided to start training for the marathon. And White Plains is very hilly, so a lot of my marathon training was in like they're tiny hills. They're not very big ones, but it's still a little bit of elevation gain. And I was mostly running by myself. The one run, and I maintain that all of my 14-mile training runs are cursed. The one run that was like really, really bad, my mom and I ran together, and it was the 14, and I got plantar fasciitis. So ahead of my first marathon, I got plantar fasciitis. I had to completely change up my sneakers. I had to change up my gait for the way that I was running and things like that. I had to change up what I was doing when I was going to work. I couldn't wear heels for a period of time, which wasn't the end of the world. I was a legal assistant at the time at a law firm, so it was kind of lax. But anyway, so that was training. I ended up kind of working back up to the mileage, and I was fine by the time the marathon was happening, but I was still a little nervous. The day of the marathon, there are like so many points where you're excited, you're scared, you don't know if you're going to be able to do it, but you're also potentially with a big group or a small group or one other person, whoever. Having the support not only by your side, but also along the way helps tremendously. Not just from like the crowd energy, because that could just be the marathon that you choose,
Right.
but actually knowing someone that's like there for you at like mile 10, at mile 16 or 22, just like at those points where you're like thinking to yourself, man, I could just stop if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I could. And I've never been really the type of person to just quit something. But I can't say that the thought didn't cross my mind once or twice. But I don't know, once you're in it and the energy's going and it's fun, I don't know. It was just an overall like really great experience. Despite the escapades the night before the marathon, it was absolutely worth doing. It was so cool to be able to prove to myself that I could do something after college. After going through like fitness tests.
There's a life
college.
after soccer.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a life after soccer. So if you're, I don't know how, like what the demographic is listening to this, but if you or someone that you know is a college athlete and they're starting to like wind down from their sport that they've been playing for a very long time, maybe give them a suggestion of a small goal, maybe like a half marathon or something like that to look forward to train for, to keep your body in check, your mind in check, because it definitely helped with that, and it's helped since. I mean, I'm now running 2 marathons this fall, which will be my first in a little while, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And how many others have you run?
I've completed 3. I think I've signed up for 5.
You've signed up for 5?
I've signed up for 5. Well,
Wait,
so,
marathons this fall?
hear me out. No.
Wait,
Maddie likes signing up for races and then she can't run them.
well, is she signed up for something I don't know about?
I get caught up in the energy, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and then I end up not being able to.
Marine Corps Marathon.
Yeah, Marine Corps Marathon last year.
Oh,
I was in the middle of the planning for the wedding, and Marine Corps was like not long after the wedding, and by about July, I was not up to mileage, and my mom turned to me. She's like, you are not going to run this marathon. You are going to defer. And I was like, yeah, I am not.
Yeah, because it was like safety, and it was like, dude, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's hard now.
Not worth it getting hurt.
No.
And not worth it like blaming the wedding for getting hurt. That would be
Well, I
silly.
think plus on top of getting married, were you not just recently a new lawyer?
Yes, I was.
So you were just starting in your job too.
I was just completing my first year, which the first year for any attorney is usually terrible. It
is what it is.
Extremely hard.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What it
It's a
is.
huge learning curve. You realize that you learned almost nothing in law school other than how to learn, and it's great.
Yeah, but it was a lot on your plate at that
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
It was a
Yes.
lot to add marathon training, which
And-
requires dedication and commitment.
Yeah,
Yes,
and you
absolutely.
were already like the stress level was already high just naturally, and I was like, Maddie, like there's no reason for you to put your body through this as well as like add just something that you're not going to enjoy the process, right? Because
Right.
it's part of. I mean, not that you enjoy like
Training?
training.
So excited for our 22 miler
I
this
know,
weekend.
we got
It's going to
22
be
miler.
great.
But I have enjoyed because I know that we all haven't been able to run, the four of us together.
Yes.
But Maddie and I have been able to do our runs together. And so it's been actually really nice because like we've both gotten like daughter time.
Yeah.
And I've actually enjoyed that. So it'll be nice this coming weekend for us to go and run together.
A reunion tour.
Yes, the reunion tour before the big race. So, well, I appreciate you sharing that with not only us but with the folks that are listening, because I think that especially with you being a student athlete in college, and then to see you kind of transition. I never thought when you were younger that, hey, yeah, Maddie's going to follow in the footsteps and want to go and do a marathon. And even though I felt like a very, very guilty mom, I was a super, super proud mom. It's just this incredible thing when you see your kid accomplish something, just, and like just how hard it is to run a marathon, but you do it yourself, even though you have all that support along the way, you do it yourself.
Yep.
It's your own 2 feet in your mind.
And I think it's important to remember too that, and I've heard multiple people say to me, I could never run a marathon.
Yes, you can.
And I'm like, no, don't ever say you could never, because you absolutely can run a marathon. You choose not to. You don't want to, which is all fine if you don't want to. But don't say you can't, because you'd be surprised at what your body can do. You can run a marathon.
I actually had the coolest conversation to realization moments. So a couple years ago, I was at a wedding for a friend, for Nikki and Derek, two friends that Matthew grew up with, and at their wedding, one of the bridesmaids came up and was like, "I heard that you run marathons. Like, that's so cool. I run every day, but I could never run a marathon." And I pointed out to her, I was like, dude, you probably could. Do you want to see the training schedule? It sounds like you've already got good mileage to be able to get there in a month.
Yeah.
And she was blown away by me saying that. So then I showed her the training schedule, and she was like, oh. So she started wrapping her mind around it. I sent it to her. And then maybe a year and a half later, I hear from Nikki and Derek that she's running her first marathon.
That's
Yay,
awesome.
that-
So cool.
That
so
is
awesome.
really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's
good
about
stuff.
inspiring other people, and that's what our community is about, right? It's
Absolutely.
you give the tips and tricks and secrets away because
And support
and the
and
support,
love
and
and-
it keeps our community thriving, and it keeps races going, and we love that.
Yes, we
because we
do.
got 5 of them this fall. So
Hell yeah, we do.
what race are we talking about next week?
So our episode 30.
30!
Can you believe it?
3-0, baby.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep.
Episode 30 is the Lost Dutchman Marathon, which was in our Arizona race. It was it was Apache Junction, Arizona, right outside of Phoenix.
It's a really cool area.
And it was a really cool race. So I'm excited to dive into that. That's going to be, I think it'll be a good episode.
I think that's going to be a good episode because
Yeah, I
we made the most of that area.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It was a good time. Some
Yeah.
good places to eat.
Absolutely.
And stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we want to thank you guys for joining us today. We really appreciate all the love. Now go make mile 20 your beat, bitch.
You're a bee.
Go make my 20 your bee.
All right, no more hurricanes on the show.